Welcome back to AI in 5. I'm your host, Simon Chris, and joining me today from just outside of Belfast is Kieran Gilmurray. Kieran runs his own AI consulting firm, and we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of deep fakes. Hi, Kieran, and welcome to AI in 5. Thanks for joining us.
Delighted. Absolute pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
It's great to chat. I know that you have quite a bit of knowledge, experience around the area of deep fakes, and so I really wanted to push on that door. What are you seeing? Is it all scary? Is it good, bad? What's going on?
Yeah, it's sort of a mixture of the two, isn't it? It's like every piece of technology you've ever seen has a bit of a yin and a bit of a yang. You know, the positive stuff is, let's say, for example, I deliver masterclasses to organizations, which I do. Well, I'm limited to a certain degree by the rules of time and space. In other words, I can only be in one physical location at a time. Now I could use a deep fake to image myself, both my facial features, body, and everything else, my voice. It could sound like me, look like me. And I could re-record the training course or the masterclass in AI and then deliver that without me physically being present. I could be somewhere else. I could play it online. Now, there's not a lot of difference between that and computer-based learning if you just think of it about it in a very simple context. But if I fed the deep fake, you know, and created a digital twin of me, and I gave it my books and I gave it my hundreds of articles and I gave it some of my personality, then as you're engaging with me as a student, then it's not a case of me broadcasting to you. Generative AI could be embedded to provide intelligent conversational answers, and it could look and feel and seem like me. Obviously, I'd be very ethical explaining to people it isn't physically me.
Yep.
Otherwise, it would be slightly naughty and unethical to fool people. So I could do that. Now, the nice bit on top of that is I can use voice AI technology and Gen AI and AI to translate my lessons into German and Spanish and French and Dutch and every other language around the world. So all of a sudden, as an individual, we'll go back to what Sam Altman said, I could be a one person, 1 billion training or development or masterclass delivery organization if I could back this up with, you know, social media broadcast and get enough companies to book me.
That's the good side, yeah?
That's the good side, but everything has a good and a slightly naughty side. So let's take two examples, voice AI, and it's happened. I'll use a US example, but it's happened in countries around the world. All of a sudden, I can use automation or robots. And then what I can do is deep fake someone's voice. It only takes a couple of minutes of actually listening to them, if even that. And there's an example in the US election where Joe Biden was allegedly recorded, 20,000 robocalls made telling people, look, don't vote. Same thing Sri Lanka, same thing Thailand, same thing Holland. It's happening around the world. So all of a sudden, now we're interfering with democracy. Then again, notice as well, I could deep fake a politician, I could deep fake a business person, or there's a great example, and it's not so great, but it's a super example in the UK where someone deep faked an image and a voice of a headmaster of a school, and all of a sudden it made that person out to be making racist comments. They didn't. They certainly didn't. But my goodness, they were suspended. Their lives turned upside down. The local community are sort of, you know, still believing it because they don't understand what deep fake technology is. Most people don't. They don't understand how this all works. So all of a sudden you've got a very negative impact. And that's very hard to close down.
And do you find that it replicates your voice okay? I know sometimes the Australian accent doesn't come out quite right with some of these American tools. How are you finding it with the Irish accent?
Yeah, it really depends on the tool. It goes back to that. I've heard Sean, and I'll not name the manufacturer to avoid embarrassment for the minute. Sean must have been, you know, from southern London, because he certainly wasn't from Dublin, shall we say. Yeah, look, it really depends on the tool. The bit that I find most useful, and again, you have to be careful here, is that I can record my own voice for numbers of minutes, and then using the right technology, you know, something like 11 Labs, it can suddenly play that back. Now I can give it a lot of text, so that it plays the text back verbally to people who are visually impaired, but I still want them to be able to access my content, and it sounds like me as well. But here's the thing, look, if it doesn't even sound like me, it does, by the way, all this technology is getting better and better. I was delivering a masterclass in Saudi Arabia the other day, and I was showing folks, you know, using prompting to generate video and voice technology 18 months ago, 12 months ago, 6 months ago, 3 months and 1 month ago, and then the other day when Meta released its latest version. And when I was doing this myself, I was thinking, oh my goodness, look how fast technology is evolving. So even if it doesn't look and sound perfectly like me today, and there's some softwares that don't, by tomorrow it will. And that's the scary and wonderful and beautiful thing. We're at generation two. Generation 10 isn't going to take the next 30 years. Generation 10 is going to take the next 10 months.
Yeah, and like they say, the AI you're using today is the worst AI you'll ever use. Look, we're right at time, but I'd love to ask everybody the same question. What's your one quick tip for someone just starting their AI journey?
Well, look, it's mine. Get excited. So there's the old phrase, start small, think big, scale fast. But let's say it's a personal journey. Just experiment. Go online, jump onto Claude, Bing, Bard, OpenAI, HeyGen, 11 Labs, and everything else. Don't treat it as if it's YouTube or and do a search or a Google search. Go on to YouTube, get some examples of good prompting, get some examples of what you can do. Just educate yourself around the potential purposes.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Kieran. Appreciate you being on AI in 5.
Appreciate the invite. Good luck, everyone.